we don't really know each other well enough, I guess, to have like a party
communal
treasurer. Yeah, party treasurer.
We haven't quite gotten there yet.
I tell you what, you guys each take a gold. I'll pass on this gold.
That is very honorable of you.
Sure.
So
Maybe
there are
five
five sets of bloodied hide armor, which is the medium, I believe, and then 5 great axes.
No bows.
Nope.
Nah. Any other chests?
You do a perception check if you really like.
20, natural 20.
Natural 20. You scour the room. Just checking every fine little crack. You have never searched so hard before for something that does not exist in your life.
She always was quite thorough, if I remember.
Yeah, every time.
Well, there's
they
nothing
win
else
searches,
here,
it's always-
guys. I'm pretty sure I looked as hard as you can look. So,
Do any of us want to take an axe, perhaps? I'm okay without the armor. I have quite good armor for myself. Anybody else wants anything?
Can I? Is there any way that I can check to see if those axes have value at all?
They would have the they don't appear to be anything special.
Okay.
They're kind of ragged. They might actually they look like they might be worse than something you've seen in a shop.
Nah.
Okay.
Pass.
And they're gonna be fucking heavy if you're gonna kind of carry them around with you.
I will definitely take one.
You'll switch to a great axe.
I will carry a great axe.
Okay.
Going to melt it
Go ahead.
down.
Add one to your. Go ahead and add one to your inventory. You have a player's handbook. You can check
Yeah, I got
that the stats are on it.
It's just a great axe.
Yep. Yeah.
okay.
So hyped, dude.
Dorlings, do you know possibly where we should start heading?
Well, seeing as how there is one other door in this room.
The door they came through, I believe.
Yes, but I mean, once we get through the door.
Well, once we get through there,
mean, there's
I could describe the sight on the other side of that door, but I'd almost prefer if you see it yourself. However, when we get in that room, I figure the way I figure it, the way I see it, the way I envision this little this thing that we're on, the way I envision it, well, basically, there's the snow hammer, right? The snow hammer is that's the end goal. That's what we're going for. That's what our purpose. That's yeah, you get what I'm saying. There's the thing is, it's a bit tricky to get. It's sort of held in a position of very bright niceness. Now, as to get to this snow hammer, it's a bit a ways away from where we are. You have to pretty much traverse the entire city practically to get there. Sorry if I didn't mention that before. If we got in maybe the main door, it's actually kind of right by the mine. Kind of like you kind of get there, but this is the quiet way in. This is the way that I always come. It's very easy to come in. Not always. I've gone in the other way too, but that's way more tricky. But the if we go in through this place, it's very large. There's a lot of places to not be seen, if you know what I mean. So so basically, if sorry, what was I saying? The snow hammer, yes. So that is up, and it's basically being held up like a gargantuan statue, and it takes a big mechanism where the statue will lower its arm and actually release this hammer to, well, to me, basically, and then we would then have the snow hammer. It's a bit tricky to get to, and I know that in that area is actually where a lot of orcs spend their time. So I was actually thinking, I know of a place. It's deep down, not deep down, but it's deep down into the city, where we might be able to hide out. It's kind of a hidden in the back little area with some beds and like a fire pit and it's stuff. I've actually spent several days in there without being found before.
Fantastic! So we could potentially take a little rest.
Home base of sorts.
Are you implying that we should have a night raid?
I'm actually implying that if we try to go now... So, here's the thing that I can't really explain. Let's just say the area in there, even though we're underground, is lit by daylight. So, there's this light, it shoots down, it does some things and such. And so basically, if we keep going at this pace, we might make it there by evening. and then it could potentially get dark really quickly. And then we'll be fighting in, remember, underground, we will be fighting in almost complete darkness. Like, complete darkness. Like the darkest dark you've ever seen in your life. So, I was actually thinking that we might want to hide out for a night, and then go. But obviously it's up to you guys, as long as we get the snow hammer. Haha, but that's what I'm thinking. It's my city, and after all, we should probably do what I want to do. Just kidding, we can do whatever we want.
I don't mind the idea of resting up a little bit. I
agree.
trek through the mountains, go through a cave, and...
Is there like a quest popping up on my HUD that says do what Dolix is telling me to do?
I think this is a good idea. We could set up a home base, get ourselves a rest, and perhaps formulate a plan for our assault on the city tomorrow.
This
I
place
think that
also
sounds
might be a
fantastic.
good place to retreat back to if need be.
I agree.
So I think we
rendezvous
should scout
point.
it out and know our safe points.
I agree. Well, Dolix, if you don't mind, how far is it, and can you show us the way?
I will absolutely show you the way, because otherwise I would be leaving you behind. Yes, and I will show you the way. But obviously, the first step is to go through that door over there.
Before we go, can I move the bodies out of the middle of the room?
Sure. So you guys want to spend some time just kind of dragging them off to the
We'll
sides
yeah.
into a shadowy areas or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, behind the columns or something like that.
Okay.
Splinter Cell style.
Yeah.
You pick them up. I was actually picturing more like Metal Gear, where it almost looks like you're kind of humping them when you're like grab them by their legs.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm thinking putting them back like over in these positions here.
Okay.
Maybe make it look like they're napping.
Or they're drunk.
As they're
Yeah.
holding them, I do prestidigitation and I clean up the blood mess.
Nice.
Ah, there you go. Prestidigitation. Oh my. There you go. So, all right. So you guys spend a little bit more time. It has now been roughly since you've entered this room, searching, checking the bodies and everything like that. It's been about probably 30 to 45 minutes that you have been in this room alone.
Okay.
It is now definitely into the afternoon. Based off of what you remember when you were first entering this area, it's past midday now. It's definitely, it's getting. That was Dolig's concern. That was the Dolig's concern. What he was saying before.
I think we're all set here, Dolix. Let's head off, I imagine. Team, what do you think?
I think we should proceed through the door.
Let's make haste, I think. The longer we wait, the darker it will become.
Well, let's be a little cautious until we get through that door. We don't know what's on the other side of it
Absolutely.
yet.
Pitch darkness is not going to be good for any of us.
Oh, except for me.
1
Alright.
in 5.
Okay.
I'll call my
Me,
shots.
so-
Well,
So what are we
most of
doing
you
to the
guys have
door?
Dark vision. I don't. Like, I'm probably the only one that doesn't have dark vision.
I'm pretty sure mountain lions have dark vision.
That's true. And mountain lions.
Oh, you are still a mountain lion, by the way. You are, unless you've changed back. You're kind
I
of.
have
Okay.
changed.
You've
back.
changed back.
Cat nap in the middle of the floor while we're doing all this.
She's still over there just gnawing at the orc.
Bone.
Let's roll.
Doesn't
Okay.
actually say whether or not they have
I mean, you're a
dark
cat. I would
Yeah,
assume.
I think it's safe to assume that a cat would be able to see fairly well in the dark.
vision. Yeah.
I would at
Yeah.
least have standard dark vision, if not an enhanced dark vision like me.
Well, like Owl, for instance, specifically says senses dark vision 120 feet, but Panther doesn't.
Oh,
Maybe they don't then.
yeah, maybe a panther wouldn't. I think a mountain lion would.
Well, we basically just took the panther stats.
Yeah.
Called it a
Cat
mountain
family,
lion.
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go and.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's make some progress.
Let's open the door and see what's beyond.
All right. So you're just
Do I have
gonna
any
open the door, or
do I have any WD-40 that I can spray on the hinges just to be sure it doesn't squeak?
no? But you might be able to carve up some orc fat, maybe,
Oh,
if you want to
okay.
spend the rest of your day in this room.
Let's say, I think we should just open it.
yeah.
Those guys came right through it.
Let's creak through. Let's
Okay. So you guys, I'm assuming this is, well, again, one of these very, very large doors, like the door that you came through to enter this room. These doors are used for transportation of goods between the docks and the city proper. So these are very large doors for when they have to move very large things.
Who wants to help me
Right
open the door?
Oh well.
I will help you push it.
All right. Me and Luna are gonna go put our shoulders against the door and slowly try and open it.
Okay. It opens towards you.
We're gonna slowly try and pull it.
Oh, we're pulling, not pushing.
We're pulling.
Okay. I rolled a 10.
On what?
Strength, I'm
Strength.
assuming.
Oh, strength. Well, I'm gonna help.
Okay.
You.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
you're
be
also kind of
helping
gonna
this.
go over and start lugging on some of the. There's actually very large ropes that actually hang down. So it's almost like you're in a tug of war with this, because you know they basically sometimes they need to open it and they need more than one person to help them. So the door begins to swing open, and as you peer on the other side, it's dim. It's very dim light, but you actually make out some light, and you guys kind of begin to shuffle into the next room, and as what you see before you is utterly amazing. Oh, probably the only person who has ever seen something maybe even close to this would be Noth.
Who
It's
disappeared.
He was so amazed he left.
the
He was underwhelmed.
the vastness of this underground. It's very open. It's basically what you would guess to be almost a quarter, at least maybe a quarter of a mile before you see a wall on either side. You are in the dead center of this area that goes as you kind of you're on a sort of balcony or a catwalk sort of entrance way. There are stairs that head straight down, and it just goes down into darkness below. There are no torches lit in this area. The dim light is actually coming from some place that is so far off in the distance that you can't even really tell what it is. All you know is that you see light sort of beams kind of reflecting off of the polished surfaces that are kind of shooting around the city to kind of give it, which is hitting it with natural daylight. There are gargantuan stone bridges and towers in this underground city. You essentially you're almost looking at a city inside of a cave. There are huge columns coming down with bridges between them. It gets so far that you cannot make out anymore the details. You guess that you're probably looking a mile off in the distance, and there's no real obstructions at the level that you're at. It is just vast, beautiful stonework. Everything is just perfectly carved and intricate. Very a lot of statues of other dwarven figures and things like that. Everything has a bit of dust on it, but not like, you know, it's clear that it hasn't been kept, but it's not that it hasn't been unused. In front of you is a very large, very wide staircase that is actually heading deeper down. It begins to get so deep that you can't really see, but there are also catwalks on the side that head off more towards the sides of the city and such, towards the walls on the side. And you know, guessing by the fact that the docks were a good distance away from the main gate, that you probably have a good trek to even get to where the major part of this city actually is.
Do we hear or see any movement?
Do
or
perception
walk up the
checks. Anybody would like to do perception checks?
Yep, I'll definitely
16.
do a perception check.
Perception's wisdom, right? Wisdom modifier?
Perception is, yeah.
Wisdom, yes.
10. Ugh, that's terrible.
10, yeah.
All right. Luna, what you notice is actually not very far away, but it's a dim light, and you kind of, as you're glancing around, you notice that to your right side, as you're looking in, there is actually an orc who is not looking towards you guys right now, who seems to just kind of be leaning up against a stone half wall, over, and just kind of seems to be just looking off.
I whisper over to Orin. Hey, Orin, there's an orc right over there. He hasn't noticed us. Do you think maybe you could pick him off with an arrow or something?
What languages do orcs speak? Or
Common and orc.
Common and orc. Okay.
I assume the others can hear me saying what I'm saying to Orin,
You're
but
whispering to the group.
I imagine